The strongest military definitely depends on its weaponry. The best military in the world heavily relies on the technology on land, air, and water. And to be global and protect allies, nations have launched several nautical and marine armaments with the objection to primarily rule the seas. And one of the most essential armaments to put this vision into reality are battleships. So we've summed up the 10 most powerful battleships ever to grace the oceans of our planet that you thought were only in sci-fi films. So watch this video till the very end. Number 10. Bismarck. The largest ever built by any European country, the prominent Bismarck, the largest German battleship, was synonymous with a destructive monster, with it being armed with 8 38mm SKC-34 guns, 12 15mm L-55 guns, 16 10.5mm L-65 guns, and 16 3.7mm L-83 guns, and 12 2mm anti-aircraft cannons. First launched in 1939, Bismarck was literally so powerful that it became a threat to nations, which obviously did not make it to last long in service. The battleship, along with the British ship Prince Eugene, ferociously sunk HMS Hood by fire during the Battle of Denmark Strait. Prince Eugene then relentlessly pursued the Bismarck, attacking it with all kinds of vessels, and after thousands of shells were fired at the Bismarck, the amount of damage was more than enough to put an end to the monster-like Kraken ship. Despite the order to abandon ship, the attack and scuttling led to a massive loss of life. Of 2,200 men aboard, only 114 survived. Number 9. Yamato. For our next remarkable battleship in history, we have the mighty Yamato. This massive warship was launched in 1940 and was originally designed to counter the superior numbers of the US Navy with incredibly deadly firepower. So this was the reason of it being the heaviest and most powerfully armed battleship ever created during its time. This beast was armed with 9 46mm main guns, which during its time were the largest to be mounted on any battleship. That weaponry included cannons that could fire high explosive as far as 26 long miles. Although it was said to be quite undefeatable considering how powerful it was, the Yamato sustained a fair amount of damage. During the Battle of the Sibuyan Sea, it was struck by 2 bombs from American aircrafts and took on 3,370 tons of water but did not sink. However, its longevity finally came to an end in April 1945, when it sunk during a battle as it was hit by 11 torpedoes and 6 bombs over a 2-hour period. Overall, about 332 men aboard perished. Number 8. Missouri. This United States ship, USS Missouri, was first launched in 1944 and waited not too long before it was sent to take part in the fight against the Japanese Empire during World War II. The legendary battleship also hosted the ceremony, which marked the surrender of Japan in August 1945. It is typical for some battleships to pause operations once the war is over, but for Missouri, the end of World War II was surely not its last mission, because it went on to battle in the Korean War and the 1990 Gulf War. In 1998, the ship was finally retired and sent to Pearl Harbor, where it then stayed as a museum ship that you should truly visit when you head to Hawaii. Number 7. Mikasa. Mikasa, although a pride of Japan, was originally built in Great Britain before it was commissioned into the newly formed Imperial Japanese Navy in 1902. Headed by Admiral Togo, its pioneer battle was in May 1905, when the Japanese defeated a Russian fleet after destroying 2/3 of the Russian ships. Marked as the first victory of an Asian navy over a Western military force, Mikasa continued to prove its dominance and endurance after surviving with light casualties, despite being hit many times in several battles. Finally, it sunk after a massive fire and explosion that resulted in the lives of 250 crew members. Number 6. HMS Victory. The HMS Victory is 241 years old, and despite its age, the HMS Victory might be one of the most well-known warships of all time. First sailing in 1765, this warship was more prominently known as Lord Nelson's flagship during the Battle of Trafalgar. And of course, that was not its only action in war. It savagely joined in multiple fights, including the Battle of Usan and the Battle of Cape Spartel, Cape St. Vincent, and the Siege of Gibraltar. The elusive Victory was equipped with an armament of 104 guns, was capable of a top speed of 11 knots, and on board were a total of 850 men. Similarly to the Missouri, the HMS Victory has been dry docked and used as a museum piece since 1922. Number 5. The USS Vesuvius. From its origins in 1888, U.S. Vesuvius was known as a dynamite gun cruiser, a vessel that could basically lob 550-pound high-explosive shells at targets up to a mile away. During that time, this was extraordinary. The ship was considered a terror weapon due to its mechanism to use compressed air to fire its shells, disallowing the enemy to hear the sound of incoming fire. It could also fire at quite a speed for the time, with 15 shells being fired in just 16 minutes. Number 4. USS Constitution. The USS Constitution is another ancient vessel with quite a history, and also the world's oldest commission to still be afloat. This warship first set sail in 1797, with a 44-gun frigate that's capable of a top speed of 13 knots, while holding 450 sailors. The USS Constitution vigorously fought Britain in the War of 1812 and ferociously defeated 5 different British warships. Number 3. HMS Queen Elizabeth. Named in honor of Queen Elizabeth I, this battleship was a leading dreadnought during World War I, but in 2017, a whole new version of HMS Queen Elizabeth was launched, although it wasn't expected to go into service until 2020. The new version is now a gigantic aircraft carrier and the largest warship ever constructed for the Royal Navy. It is able to carry 60 aircraft and up to 1,600 sailors. Being powerful is figuratively an understatement for the ship, as despite its massive size, it has a top speed of 25 knots, can travel 10,000 nautical miles, and is armed with enough firepower to protect itself from attack easily. Number 2. HMS Dreadnought. Succeeding Queen Elizabeth in the HMS Dreadnought, she was definitely one of the most significant vessels because she brought a technological revolution to the world's naval operations. This ship first sailed in 1906 and hit the waters with such incredible technological advancements, with its steam turbine power making it the fastest battleship in the world at the time that it rendered many other ships obsolete. This powerful and legendary warship was designed to be faster and capable of firing heavy ordnance at a much longer range. It had 10 large 30mm guns, 27 12 PDR 7.6mm guns, and 5 torpedo tubes. And regardless of all of its advancements, the Dreadnought was never really engaged in many significant battles, but records show it caused a lot of damage by ramming and sinking the German submarine SMU-29. Number 1. HMS Defender. At one time, the sun never set on the British Empire because they were the global dominant force, and even today, the British are more than capable. The HMS Defender is a daring-class air defense destroyer in service with the Royal Navy that was launched in 2009 with technology that include a multitude of air surveillance radar and tracking system, as well as some significant anti-air firepower and a capability to sail at 30 knots. However, this warship is mostly famous for being a service vessel instead of battle-ready. So which of the 10 most powerful battleships are you interested in the most? Sound off in that box called the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.